think this is actually very similar to what happened in 2017 around the China ban, quote unquote, on Bitcoin. And I think what happens in these situations is we had a 9-month period where the asset ran up fourfold, right? It was up almost 5 times over that 9-month period. And then you get a lot of speculators coming into the market. So, if you look at the history of the price of any asset, it tends to make a series of higher lows over time. And there's volatility, and that volatility can be triggered by all kinds of things. And in this case, like back in 2017, there's this fear, this, I think, irrational fear that some government is going to ban cryptocurrency. And so the whole nature of cryptocurrency is that's not possible. What happened in the China case was, the price fell about 20% over the course of the next month, from about 4,600 down to 3,700. And then people realized, wait, they'll just move the exchanges from China to Japan or Korea. And by the end of the year, 3 months later, prices were up to the record highs of almost 20,000. So I'm not saying that we're going to go up, 5-fold from here in the next 3 months, but I am going to say that going forward, this too shall pass, and people will calm down a little bit.
Well, the market's, tremendously calmed down. We're down 175 on Bitcoin right now, 1%, but that's a long way from being down 2,000. But what it said to me, though, Mark, is that there are players out there, irrational or not, that are worried, clearly, or ready to hit sell, at least anyway, on this, even the sniff of any kind of regulation, even around the wallets, not necessarily the crypto itself.
Yeah, no, it's a great point, Brian. And look, I think the challenge for any, asset, particularly a new asset, we're only talking about an asset that's 11 years old, and there's still, the vast majority of people really don't understand how cryptocurrency works, how blockchain technology works. And so what you've got is you've got a core base of owners, and they're not going to sell no matter what the price. And they've been holding for many, many years. They call them the hodlers for short. And then what happens is as the price starts to move, it draws in speculators. And I don't mean speculator with a negative connotation. I mean, the opposite of a long-term investor, someone who is trading that asset. And that could be in gold, it could be in stocks. Think about Amazon. Amazon fell almost 20% in the first 2 weeks of September this year. And some people freaked out. And some people thought, oh my gosh, something's going to change. Something's going to be terrible about the Christmas season, or we're going to reopen and people aren't going to buy as much stuff from home. That incremental seller then causes pressure. Short term, the price moves, but the long-term trend is still upwards.
We always talk about Bitcoin, Mark, only because it's the big dog, if you will, of crypto. But as we've highlighted a couple days earlier in our RBI, there's other ones, XRP, Ether, they've done better, Litecoin. And they all kind of do different things. We don't need to go into the technologies of the platform. To be frank, I'm not sure I could even go that deep into a Mark myself. But is there one model that you prefer, whether it's the Ether model off the blockchain? Is it Bitcoin? Is there one that you like, or is it really Bitcoin's where the action is?
Yeah, look, the easiest way to think about it, for me anyway, is similar to internet protocols. So when the internet came along, there were lots of competing protocols, and nobody really knew what we were going to use to operate. You and I today are transmitting in high definition from me sitting in a hotel room in Tulsa, Oklahoma after the holiday, using the technology called the internet, right? And it translates or transmits over something called TCP/IP. And that's the base layer protocol. On top of that, there are other protocols. We have HTTP for email, we have SMTP, we have file transfer protocol, and there's about half a dozen protocols. But the big daddy is TCP/IP. And the same thing I think is true with blockchain technology and cryptocurrency. Is Bitcoin will be ultimately, I think, the base layer protocol. On top of that, there's Ethereum, and then there could be a handful of other protocols that are really important over time. But at the end of the day, we're talking about technology. Blockchain technology is the operating system for the Internet of Value. You know, it's the same thing as the TCP/IP is the operating system for the Internet, or DOS or Windows was the operating system for personal computers, or iOS is the operating system for the iPhone, which I'm transmitting. I'm transmitting live television on my iPhone. Pretty amazing.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.